Hello and welcome. That's great. That is so great. So I'm so excited to be here with Aya, my very famous style coach. I know that a lot of you have been looking forward to this episode because you've been hearing about my journey with Aya since last year, and now I'm here with her in person.
Look at her.
She's so proud of her work.
So proud.
And this is, by the way, if you're just listening to the podcast, I am saying, look at her, because she can see me because we're here together.
And also beautiful Eris scarf.
Oh, thank you.
Beautiful accessories and lipstick and beautiful glasses, everything.
Yeah. So if you want to see what I actually look like, if you're not seeing me right now, you can see the video on YouTube, and maybe we'll post a few photos as well for you. All right, so let's get straight into this. We're going to be talking about word of the year, confidence, productivity, and results. So let's start off with word of the year. So Aya, I don't even know this yet. I'm so excited to find out.
Yeah.
What is your word of the year?
My word of the year is surrender.
Oh my goodness, okay.
I've been on a surrender experiment since maybe late last year, and I was inspired because I read a book by Michael Singer called The Surrender Experiment, which I highly recommend. So the majority of my life, I've been trying to control results, with my entire life, personal, business, and obviously that didn't work out. And it took me like almost 49 years to realize that trying to control results doesn't work out. And I, was recommended this book, and I read it, and it's been really, really fun. Not planning anything, most of all. It's easier for me now that my son's, away in college, and I don't have a sick mom anymore. I don't have a husband anymore. So it's a lot easier to be on it, for sure. But because of my experiment, I've been able to travel to places kind of last minute. I'll just decide to go somewhere and meet a lot of wonderful people and have amazing experiences, both love life and business and everything all together. And it's just been really fun.
Wow.
So that's my word.
So surrender means like not having a plan, or is there anything else to that?
I think, the surrendering is, the big part is to let go. Let go of our expectations, let go of planning, which might be kind of countering what you're doing. But I used to have like a long to-do list, and if I didn't get 12 things done on my list of 10, I'd be like, why can't I do it like so-and-so? What's wrong with me? I got to work harder, da-da-da. And now I'm just like, I barely have a to-do list, and when I do, and if I get like 3 things done, I'm like, oh, I was able to go to the dentist on time, or I didn't forget. I'm like, great job. So I think a lot of it's being more easy on myself. Yeah. So it's trying to self-care, self-love. Something I didn't afford myself, before. Right. And I did have more responsibilities at the time. So I don't know, what came first, but thanks to, how my life is now, I don't have that many responsibilities, and I love it.
That is wonderful. And that is, you said, is it related to what I'm doing? And in, like, for example, the Sasaka VIP Women's Coaching Program, we do plan. The thing is that we plan to do small amounts. Yeah. So not having like this huge to-do list that you can't get done, and then you beat yourself up that you don't get the whole thing done. But it's more about prioritizing, being very clear and getting, small. And once you've done that, then you can do some more. So that you feel good about it.
For sure.
And I also love this idea of surrender, kind of go with the flow. And like, why stress out about controlling things?
For sure. It's so fun. And I haven't done this before, but one of the new things I've been doing is going on a date with myself.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, there's this restaurant I haven't tried. Why not just walk in there? And people are often much more friendly to you. Maybe they feel sorry for me, so I'll take the pity any day. So I get more attention. I get more appetizers sometimes. I get more wine poured, and I'm like, oh, you know, it's just kind of a nice vibe to how it used to be when I go, or when I do go out with my friends. Oftentimes we don't get to know the people that's running the restaurant, the service staff, you know, so you just become much more open, and there's space created for you to notice things, which I really enjoy, which is very new to me. So.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so there's one thing that we can all try is just go for a
Study
date
date.
with us.
Yes.
Study date. Oh, I love it. I love
I
it.
love it too.
All right, so that sounds, so I'm guessing it takes some confidence to actually go and do that. So that takes us on to that topic of confidence. So what's an area in your life where you didn't have confidence in the past?
Yes.
And now you do?
Oh, okay. So I have two answers in that case.
Okay.
One would be the big one about buying my company in my 20s. So help me remember that one.
Okay.
But I used to not have confidence to go to even into like Yoshinoya, you know, because my favorite thing is Yoshinoya no choshoku, you know, like shake gohan, namatamago gohan, you know, natto. And I wanted to eat that so badly when I used to model in my younger days. And I'm going to university at the same time, so I would often have like 3 jobs in one day when I don't have school.
Yeah.
So I'd be at the studio, you know, an hour earlier just to make sure that I'm at the right place and I have time to grab warm breakfast, not kongbue sandwiches that they'll have for me. And I'm like, oh, I want to go to Yoshinoya, I want to go to Yoshinoya. This is like 20-some years ago. It's not like now where girls are, you know, frequenting the place. And the only people at Yoshinoya in those days were just koji genba no oji-san.
Right.
And so kind of like a, you know, 16, 17-year-old teenager, you know, walking in would attract so much attention, or so I thought. So I would go to Mr. Donuts across, watching Yoshinoya, eating donuts and drinking coffee I don't want. And like, oh, why don't I have the confidence to go to Yoshinoya? And it really took me like 20 years to be able to go. Maybe not 20 years, but 15 years or so. And I think, I'm not sure, simultaneously, I think I saw more women going in.
Right.
So I used to always look at women who would come into restaurants I'm at with my friends alone and just sit down and orders like itsumono, you know, and talk. And I wanted to be that woman. And now I am.
Oh, that's so
happy. That took me like so long.
Right. So it took a long time to kind of build up that courage, but then just by doing it,
just by doing
that's
it.
how you got the confidence.
Yeah.
What was it then that triggered to?
I think getting older is one. And I think it's coupled with a lot of things, but so many things we stop ourselves from doing so many things out of fear, right? And it's that I realized that all the things I used to worry about didn't come true. Yeah. And running a model agency is a big one, right? Or being a mom is another big one. All those things I worried about didn't come true. In the case of my model agency, a lot of things I didn't expect did come true. So yeah, but it's like, and when it does come true, it doesn't kill you, and it didn't shame you or it didn't hurt you. So when you keep inquiring, what if I went to Yoshinoya when I was 16? Yeah. You know, as a model or whatever, or what if they looked at me? So if you keep inquiring and taking yourself to the goal. The worst possible thing is what? They're all gonna stand up and laugh at me together? No, that's not really gonna happen. So yeah, at some point you just win the courage. And then in my 20s, I think, I started going to Fujisoba, you know, having katsudon, soba seto, and usually when I go, I'm like super dressed up with my hat and whatever. So I did attract attention, but I was like, I can't say those words. So I was like, well, you know, it didn't matter. So
it's attention in a good way.
It's attention. It's like, it's hiraki naori, which you mentioned that you wanted to talk about. Yeah. So oftentimes it's just like, oh well, shoganai, you know, I want to eat fujisoba katsudon setto now, and I happen to be in my elegant Audrey Hepburn look today, but I'm just gonna go in there, and that's that. And I always find being more dressed up is better than when I'm not really dressed up at all. No makeup and sweats. That's when I really don't want to meet people.
So that also relates to confidence. It's like how you look. Yeah. So going back to, you said about starting your business. Yes. So tell us a little bit more about that.
So in my 20s, because I was born to a supermodel when she was 20, I had been...
Can we bring you into, because people who are watching the video, I'm just, for those listening, you're wondering what's happening, I'm just bringing Aya a little bit more onto camera so that we can see how wonderful she looks.
So when I was in my 20s, after having modeled all my life and having put myself through university and still not knowing what I wanted to do, I basically started doing arubaito at my own model agency that I worked at. Because my boss was starting to be demotivated, I think. Anyway, and I just thought, I'll buy it then. I didn't want to join another agency to model. And my sisters were in it, and at the time, I just wanted to stop modeling. I just was so ashamed and embarrassed of this label that once I graduated and stopped becoming a student, when people asked me what I do, all I had was moderu, which was just embarrassing because I didn't feel worthy and, you know, all those things that women feel oftentimes.
And isn't that interesting? I'm just like going to our listeners, isn't that interesting? Because you think of models as just being so amazing and confident, and apparently that's not the case.
No, actually, and this is a whole new episode on another day, but I think models are probably the least secure beings in the world. For one, we're competing with people with legs that start from here and skinny with everything perfect, and you're just, it's confusing for one, and also we're paid to not to show our feelings. So we become people pleasers, of course, but nobody cares if your mother died that morning, or if you're freezing, or if you're hot or you're sick or not anything. It's like once you got that job, you're there no matter what. So it's a lot of pressure, and that job helped me to put myself through school and live on my own. So I felt useful, that I could alleviate that financial burden from my parents. But at the same time, I was always wishing I didn't have that choice. It was like nothing would bring me more money than prostitution and modeling in my mind, and that was out of the question. I don't have breasts, so I was like, okay, I'll stick to modeling. And times were good at that time. It was before the bubble burst when I was really making a lot of money. Anyway, so my sisters were also modeling in my agency, so I decided to buy the agency after working there for 2 years as a arubaito / model. And at 27, I bought the agency from my ex-boss. And at the time, we only had a choice to start a company for 300 or Yugen Gaisha or 1000 for Kabushiki. And she had started a Kabushiki Gaisha 6 years prior to me purchasing. So I bought it for 400 cash, and I took over her 6 million yen debt.
Wow.
And when you think about this, it makes absolutely no sense because my agency's assets were models, and out of the 4 models we had, 3 of them was my family. Like if I had the balls and the confidence, I could have just started my own, even though my choices would have been Yugen Gaisha 300.
Yeah.
But I was afraid of things I didn't know how to do, which was to start setting up a company. And because I've been working there for 2 years, I didn't want to stop the role of my egyo either, doing something that I'm not good at doing and possibly messing up. So I decided to take my ex-boss's offer, which became a very expensive tuition. So my plan to retire from modeling failed miserably. 2 months later, I was back modeling because, I had to do jitensha sogyo. I don't know what the word is in English, but
you just have to get the money coming in.
But I was grateful that I had that opportunity to put money back in. But so my confidence built slowly from trial and error, but that was a big something I would have done differently if I have my brains and experience, which I didn't. So in retrospect, it was good. I didn't go bankrupt. I still have that company. It's in its 29th year now. So, and I just changed the contents to fit whatever job I'm doing. Right. And now I'm in my 3rd business. But at the time it was quite, scary to go into it. But I actually went into it with the attitude of, well, Paris Hilton's got a company and that Home Alone kid's got a company. So if I mess up, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, never give it to anyone. I'm not bothering anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality was so different because in Japan at that time, you know, you're not supposed to be a shacho in your 20s.
Right.
And you're not supposed to be a woman being a shacho. And you're not supposed to be an ex-model, let alone a model. So it wasn't just the men, but it was the women too, who, you know, I don't know what they did, studied, connected, invested to get to, you know, own a company, own a model agency, didn't like me because I probably looked like somebody bought the agency for me because I smiled at them. I don't know, I got that vibe. And so it was a lot of I don't know, I joined this Japan Model Agency Association, for example, to learn more about the, you know, rules and regulations and whatnot. And when I asked the question, some older women would be like, you know, like, don't ask that question, it's not that time. Or I would have like, you know, a man, a casting agent, rip our meshi apart when we take the girls for go-sees. Like my manager's meshi, it's like, oh, you're from that agency. Like ripping in front of my models. It's just lots of little, you know, I don't know, bullying, I guess. They wanted me to be a woman, kind of small and meek in my little corner and stay a model. And it was definitely tough for me to be modeling and running the agency at the same time. It was like people who were smart would try to get me on the phone to bargain my guarantee. So I would, of course, always lower my guarantee, thinking about the other models, but that never worked out. It never worked out that my models would then get more work or anything like that. So,
right.
Yeah. So I felt very much constricted. And I didn't know that in Japan, you can't just do what you want, even if you're not male committed to anyone. So that was an eye-opener for me. And nowadays, there's no excuse. You can start a company, you know, for nothing.
Right.
And those who are thinking about it have had more than enough experience.
Right.
And you have more than enough resources to preempt any, you know, possible problems. So I think it's just such a great, fun opportunity.
Right. The times that we live in now are amazing. So for listeners or those of you who are watching, if you are thinking of starting your own business, do it. We totally recommend
do
that.
It, as Nike says.
And when we talk about the confidence, what you just shared those two stories. So what I heard was that it's not, you know, confidence is not something that's suddenly there. A lot of the time it takes time and it takes actually going through difficulties to get that confidence.
Yeah, and one other thing I recently learned is I didn't, you know, I don't know if I had a time when I tried to gain confidence. So I either chickened out and did something less and paid a lot of money or just didn't do it at all. But now I'm really into doing something that I'm not confident in, including speaking, you know, to you or speaking on stage. And I think I really enjoy getting out of my comfort zone just because it's the easiest way to feel this thrilling sensation like, oh, I didn't die. Right. Oh, I was able to, you know, dive off that diving board. Yeah. I mean, when you do that what if game, you know, to the end, like, well, I'm really not going to die if I speak on stage. And so, you know, if you keep doing, you know, keep doing that game, the end is nothing. There's no fear.
It's like we get confident about stepping out of our comfort zone.
And
it kind of gets fun.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun.
I definitely want to share this with you. So one of the things I learned in my second business when I was running a workshop called German Workshop, one of my speakers explained to us, I think it was during the workshop, that the feeling of being scared to go up on stage to speak, for example, and the feeling of being excited to go on a roller coaster is exactly the same. Yeah. And you get these like kind of, you know, sweat in your palms and this booky feeling. But if you just tell your mind it's the exact same feeling as being excited. You could actually, your mind is really pretty stupid, right? Your brain's not that smart. So if you tell your brain that, oh my God, I'm so excited to get to speak to you guys, you know, it becomes that feeling. Yeah. And that's one of the tricks that I think is quite useful. Like, oh my God, you know. So when I did that TEDx talk recently, which was my first public speaking thing, real one anyway, ever, I made that opportunity, I turned that opportunity into a place where I invited like 20 of my public speaking friends, because a lot of my friends, including you, are public speakers. So instead of not telling people about it or not, you know, doing anything about it, I did everything, including getting your course, getting Dale Carnegie's course. I even did my walking lesson from my own program with my beautiful Russian model, Olga, to give me a constructive criticism on how I could look better. And I just did the inconceivable, like inviting all my friends who are amazing speakers. That's my biggest fear, that I can't speak like you guys, you know? So I was like, oh, what the hell? Why not? So that was really actually like, it forced me to harakiri. Like, okay, yeah. And another thing I learned in preparation for that is when I was doing the Dale Carnegie presentation, there was a boy who was as scared as me to perfect his speech, so much so that I couldn't focus on what he was talking about. And I felt so badly for him. My heart went out to him. And because I had that experience and I'd invested in that before the talk, I was like, okay, I'm not going to let my friends worry for me like that.
Right.
Because they will. If I looked scared and nervous, my friends would feel badly for me. So I didn't want, it's not that I didn't want pity, I love pity, but it was just I didn't want that to be the primary focus of my friends.
Right.
So when you shift your attention elsewhere, I think it really helps.
Yeah, absolutely. What I always say is it's all about the audience. So focus on the audience when you're giving a presentation. That takes all of that kind of that primitive fear of, will people like me, will people accept me, it takes it away because you're focusing on the other person.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think focusing on something outside of yourself. No one's really there to watch you. I mean, I tell this to my clients too all the time. Like recently, I did a yoga session with one of my clients, and it was a bit of an advanced class, and he wasn't quite happy about me choosing that class for one too. But I felt badly about that. But I said, nobody's watching you. Yoga's not a competition. Everybody's so focused on them not falling off. And if you're in that stage when you're feeling like everyone's watching you, that's part of, you know, the learning that you can acquire from yoga. I think. So I think it'll be it's good to focus on what your objective is. What do you want to achieve?